The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Heckma Harrison in the house. Former Cowboy safety Barry Church in the house. Toledo Rocket Hall of Famer in the house. I'm merely Newey Scruggs to help make this facilitate and get down here as we talk Cowboys with you from Frisco, home of the Star and the world headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. SWBC Podcast Center is where we get down at. All right, guys. We've talked about it before. Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator, what he liked to play with in Minnesota. And it's like when he got here, not what they did. So a trade was made with the New York Football Giants for Jordan Phillips, 6'6", 341 pounds.
That's a big boy. Big man. That's a big man.
So one technique, you got Mozzie Smith. By the way, nobody's giving up on Mozzie Smith, so we can put that out there. This isn't Mozzie, you stink. This is we need some more reinforcements. We need some help. And Carl Davis is going to be going out. So start right now. Church with you. Thoughts?
Well, like we always talked about, with the carpenter, he's going to need his tools. And obviously the tools he had in his shed, weren't sharp enough. So they went out there and Carl Lawson, come on in here. Phillips, come on in here. To, if at the very worst, provide some depth over there. So to me, Mike Zimmer is saying the guys in the building that he had in there, which are, Mozzie Smith. I don't got to worry about Osa. I think Osa, I think he's going to be an outstanding player.
Oh, that one. Right there, the one.
Yeah, just at the one technique. We need some more reinforcements in there. And they went out there and they grabbed a few guys that can go in there and at the very worst clog the holes up. And, Phillips has been proven to be a guy that can hold offensive linemen from getting to that second level. When he was in Buffalo, he was able to do that. And you saw what Matt Milano was able to do at the linebacker position. He was one of the best linebackers for a while there with the Buffalo Bills before his injury. So we've seen these guys. They have the capability of doing just that. And that's what the Cowboys need. They don't need guys that are just, Aaron Donalds, this, that, and the third. They need people to do their job and do it well, consistently. Not just, a flash in the pan here and there. They need their guys to be able to sit in the gap, make sure that run ain't coming through this gap, and at the very worst, make sure that offensive lineman doesn't get to the second level because we got speed everywhere on that second level. We got to be able to use that speed. So they're bringing these guys in. They're consistent at what they do. They're not flashy. They're not going to be wow, pop off the tape, but they're going to do their job consistently, and that's what Zim brought in here. He brought some more tools in there to sharpen up what he already has, and hopefully the carpenter has what he needs now.
My mic's not working, guys, so.
use that voice.
That's exactly what I'm going to have to do.
No, it's there. Now we got
Okay, we're good. No, I agree. And I think we were talking about Zim before, and I think even before in the offseason, you were talking about guys like Linval Joseph and the kind of prototypical guys that Sharif Floyd. Those are the kind of players that when he starts making his signature dishes, these are the prototypical guys that he has standing in those A-gaps. But look, man, I used to work a show with Mickey Spagnola, and Mickey taught me about these free agent acquisitions. And I'm telling you, it was I tell you a story about Ha Clinton Dix, how excited I was about him. Man. And, I was excited.
Did he even make the squad?
Really? Listen, I was like, we got Ha. We about to run things. We got Ha. Man, Mickey looked at us. Didn't even look up from his notepad when he said it. He was like, he's a bridge player. Might not even make the team. And I was like, wait a minute, man. We need safeties.
How was nice back in the day, though?
Back in the day. And so I was claiming back in the day. And so, when you make the when you make the comparison between some of those players and you think about what Zimmer wants, that's when I look at these guys, and I say especially a guy like Jordan Phillips, because of his size specifically, what he can do on this defense, that's all we need him for.
That's it.
That's all we need him. And we were talking about that rotational piece behind Mozzie, because he's going to need that. He's still maturing into the position, and before he gets to that point, you need a guy that could come in there and spell him. Also, with some of the other key pieces that you lost in the offseason, you need a good rotation. Don't get me wrong, guys like Chauncey Golston is starting to turn it around, and you're starting to see him fit into that rotation. But right now, that one tech, it's a lot of questions around that position. And I think you had to get a guy in here like Phillips because they waived Carl Davis, another big body, a guy that kind of fits the same mold of Jordan Phillips. But you just need a guy not to get drove off the ball. And I just, look, before I get excited about these picks, I'm like, look, man, I've seen this movie before. It was the Dontari Poe Everson Griffin movie.
Oh, we talking about brother.
Okay. I saw that movie starring Gerald McCoy. I saw that. Yo, we need help up front. We need guys that can play the position and the role that Mike Zimmer wants them to. And so, I mean, I'm loving this, but I want to see if guys like Carl Lawson still has something in the tank to give you on the outside, or if this, I don't know. Like, I don't want to call him a camp body because I don't think that's what he is, but I think he's a guy that you come in with. If you have over expectations for him, I think you may be disappointed.
Game 1.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody remember the last time the Cowboys and Browns played against each other?
Oh, man.
Was it 16?
Was it? No, it was brother
2020.
2020.
49-38 game.
Yeah, that was bad.
What do we know? What do we know?
It was
It was here.
It was here, right?
It's here. So what do we know about Kevin Stefanski? He likes to run
that ball.
Yeah, he's gonna run that ball.
Let me give you statistics from that last game. 40 carries for 307 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns.
I can still see that Odell Beckham reverse.
Yes, and remember.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
Two carries, 73 yards, 1 touchdown, the 50-yard touchdown, Odell Beckham. Nick Chubb got hurt in that game. And then Kareem Hunt ended up getting some carries.
Yeah.
And Hunt went 11 for 71, had 2 touchdowns. But then it was Dearness Johnson. We're like, who he is?
Yeah.
13 carries, 95 yards. They're going game 1, Cleveland's going to try to run the football.
Of course.
And that's when I saw the Phillips thing. I'm like, okay, good. We don't know what you're going to get from Mozzie Smith. We're not on the trust level with Mozzie yet, so there needs to be some more help. Carl Davis, not going to be the guy, so okay. And let's not be surprised if they make another move.
Yeah.
As we start to see these cuts here. This needs to be a Parcells-like philosophy as they go forward at this one tech. Is you need to just keep churning the bottom of the roster, keep on churning. Folks need to be. Was it Monday they come for trials? We need to be looking to see a bunch of big boys out here every Monday, every week. You see some big old boys every week until you find who can get out here and get the job done.
Of course.
You know, just keep bringing them up. Do you look like Vince Wilfork? Look profile. You know, you look like refrigerator Perry. I mean, just keep on.
When you say continue to mine these other rosters, and I mean it mining, going through everything you possibly can. Because Carl Lawson came in, I think they said last week. So again, that's a part of what Will McClay is doing, making sure that he's keeping his ear to the street to find out who's out there. I mean, look, we got to stop the run. Everybody knows that Mike Zimmer came in under the pretense that that's the job that I'm here to take care of. I know these guys in the secondary are going to be fine. Where we're getting beat at is up front and in the trenches. We've seen it. You could go through many games last season where the Cowboys just gave up too much. And I'm sorry, the playoff game, you saw it raise its head again where you could not get off the field. And when your defense, because the way that it was set up through Dan Quinn, if you're not getting interceptions, you guys look pedestrian. You know, those big plays, those sacks, those interceptions, when those things aren't coming to you easily, naturally, man, this defense was dead in the water.
And when it comes to Zimmer's defense, I mean, we look at here, you know, the nose side, we got Mozzie, Carl, you know, Justin Rogers, Auburn. With his defense, you're not going to have that safety in the box. That's just not how he operates. He does, you know, Dan Quinn had a lot of that down safety where he's going to have, you know, big, you know, 7-man box.
Yeah.
Zimmer loves to have that 2-high shell. And if you can't stop the run in that 2-high shell, it's curtains. It's curtains. If you don't have somebody on the inside that can control that line of scrimmage and let those guys do what they got to do, it's curtains for you because you just don't have enough bodies in the trenches. And I don't think he's going to switch up his whole entire defense to make it a single high defense where you bring that extra guy down in the box. So to me, it's of the utmost importance to find somebody in there that can control the middle. You got to when you have a 2-high system like this.
That's why you got to have linebackers also that can scrape and play.
Exactly.
You know, guys that can get downhill in the area, and then guys that are good tacklers. And Eric Kendricks, we hadn't gotten an opportunity to see him play in live action yet, but it's what we've heard coming out of camp, that he is that piece. I mean, you may even be looking at him, compared to what you had last season as an upgrade at the position because of his football IQ and the kind of player that he is. Look, it is not a secret that this team struggles against the run. You don't get these bodies in here that can stop it. Teams are just going to continue to do the same thing against you. There's no sense in switching up the formula for the Cowboys. Yeah, all right? True. And at the early part of your season, the teams that you go Cleveland, after that, the New Orleans Saints, Ravens.
Ravens, you already know.
Everybody's going to come.
Detroit.
They're coming.
The blueprint is here.
They're coming with their running game in tow, and it's going to be all about, can you stop us? Teams don't even care about all the other stuff. Mm-hmm. What we're going to do is load up on this, and that's why the development of Mozzie Smith is so imperative to this team, because it gets to the point, as you stated, we were talking about another position. Like, if a guy don't have it, he just don't have it, and you just can't make him have it.
You can't force it.
You can't force it. All right, but because of where he was picked, where he was drafted, he's going to get that opportunity to play. But, man, it's just not that consistency isn't there for him yet.
You say that, it makes me go back to old Parcells. One of the Bill Parcells used to say, if they don't bite his puppies, they ain't going to bite. Ain't gonna bite when they become dogs. Yeah, so Mozzie's got to show us he's got some bite here. He's got to be a contributor. I'm not asking for this man to be Randy White. I'm just merely at, can you contribute to be out on the football field and help make plays? By the way, we talk about Carl Lawson, who signed with the Cowboys. Paul Gunther is the defensive run game coordinator for the Cowboys.
Familiarity.
He knows him very well. Okay. And that to me is a very big thing as you're trying to teach a scheme here is, hey, you got guys like Kendricks, who's at the linebacker spot. Now you got Lawson help up front. He can also help other guys have an understanding of what it is that they want to accomplish in this scheme. So I like the signings. I do wonder, couldn't this been done months ago?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I mean, of
course.
Of course it could. Call me crazy, but
of course it could.
OTAs, we could have had these guys in here a while back. But hey,
that's a fundamental flaw that we've seen play out several times through several different administrations when it comes down to, hey, man, this ain't going to work out. And somebody obviously went into the office and said, fix it.
We ain't got it.
Fix it, Rich.
We need something.
Fix it.
This ain't cutting it. Right.
No, this
is not cutting it. And I keep thinking of how much now, Barry, here's a question for you to have to play. How much now is your preparation about Cleveland as you're this deep in the training camp?
Oh, this deep in that's usually when you get this deep in the training camp, the first couple of days or weeks, maybe let's just call it 2 weeks, you're doing install, you're getting all the defense from Zimmer that he wants you to know going into week 1. From about the second preseason game on, you're not really doing much about that other team. You might do a day or two for the young guys to get ready for that preseason game, so they have an understanding of what's going on. Even though your defense is going to be vanilla, they'll show film of whoever else is on the preseason. But the veteran guys, the guys that are going to be starting in those week 1 games, you're doing research. You're in individual. You're saying, okay, this is where he likes to do on third down. This is their favorite personnel, first and second down. Favorite runs with Chubb. This is how they're going to pull the guards over here. You're doing all that to get ready for week 1 at this point in training camp. The first, week, maybe week and a half, you're just grinding it out, doing install, going against each other, battling joint practices. But at this point, after this second game, it's all Cleveland for the veterans and the starters. And, the young guys, they'll get their day here or there to prepare for that next preseason game. But the starters and the guys that are going to be there week 1, your preparation for Cleveland starts probably after this game.
So even coming into this second game, Barry, for you as a defensive guy, did you care anything about the preseason and getting your body ready, prepared for the season? Or you just like it once it got to a certain point in your career, you just like, look, I'm good. Just give me to week 1.
Oh, yeah. Early on, being undrafted, I was, every preseason, I need to do this. I gotta make it. But, once I got established as a starter and once I became a captain, and I was like, man, look, I just need to be healthy. I wasn't really going up for balls in camp, like trying to bat balls down. If the receiver went up for it, hey, you got this. I ain't going to jump up with you, because that's how you twist ankles and getting all that crazy stuff. I just wanted to make sure I was 100% for week 1. Whatever the case may be, whoever we're going against, I made sure I was 100%. So that's how I took it in once I got to a point. But when I was, first coming in here, you got to grind and make sure the coaches notice you each and every day.
That's and when I look at the secondary and you talk about that cover 2 shell, I think that we have 2 of the best tacklers at the safety position playing here. All right, Hooker and Wilson.
Oh, Hooker's a beast.
Yeah,
in that open field tackle.
I mean, I think
he's
that's one of the things that you feel so confident about playing a scheme like Zimmer has, and so not seeing these guys in any action. Hey, do we? Are you worried about that, or when do you think that these guys need to get some time to at least get ready for the
Hooker's
season?
at the point in his career where he's a consummate vet, so he understands. He's had enough action out there. When it comes to Wilson, I'd like to see him, get a little bit of action here and there. I mean, he's a beast. Don't get me wrong, he's a beast. He'll come downhill, knock the snot out of you. But with this new system, he's still a young enough player to where you gotta get some work in there. Okay. So we'll see. But Hooker, that's a different story. I mean, he's a vet.
All right, let's get our first break in here. When we come back, it was nice to see a couple plays from this one player, Cowboys former Pro Bowler, in action yesterday as the Cowboys and the Rams got after it. Heckma Harrison is here. Barry Church is here. I'm Newey Scruggs. This is Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The creators of Buffalo Casino Games brings you Cowboy-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat. Find America's team on and off the reels now at a casino near you. Do you have a gambling problem? Please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Thank you, Heckma Harrison. Appreciate that. Barry Church is here, former Cowboy safety. I'm Newey Scruggs. Players Lounge brought to you, as Heckma said, by Aristocrat Gaming. The early line, by the way, has Cleveland as a 2-point favorite at home. At the Cleveland Browns Stadium with, So
once CD get back,
not promoting gambling, but
do you
letting you know.
Do you have a gambling problem?
Hey man, let me give you this.
Have a problem? We got a number for you.
It is.
But if you wanted to know, Cleveland by 2 is what they're saying right now.
Breadcrumbs. Just be calling me.
I don't do it. I won't be gambling. I'm just letting you know right now. This is
Newey said it.
This is what is being said. Normally your home team is going to get 3, right out the gate, but
And that could shrink.
Yeah. So we'll see, and of course we'll see as people get healthy. Cowboys going against the Rams again yesterday over at Oxnard. Trayvon Diggs with 2 picks, and I'm happy for him.
Yes.
It is good to see him coming back. Clearly, they have worked out a fantastic plan to get him back at the proper way, healthy, to see him make 2 picks, get him ready for the season. You take Diggs, you take Bland, man.
Jordan Lou too.
Yes, but those two corners on the outside, man.
Dangerous.
Oh, if your D line could stop the run,
That's the thing.
I love if.
If was a fifth.
hopes and dreams.
Oh, we love it.
Okay, hopes and dreams. But with those two guys out there, all right. I if you can stop the run, this could be something good.
Yeah.
With those two guys.
Go ahead.
No,
BC.
that sounds like somebody sliding that hopium pack a little bit, man. I don't know. I don't know because I still gotta
Off that.
see.
You know I'm off that.
I gotta see
He on
what
gambling
this,
now.
what this D line gonna do. I gotta see what this D line gonna do because it's great if you can get teams in the 3rd and 8s. 3rd and 10s, where they're gonna have to put it up in the air, and you know you got the secondary that can hold it down. But if teams are sitting there, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s,
Life
3rd
is
and 4s,
difficult.
life becomes a lot different because you're not asking your quarterback to sit back there, 5-step drop, try to find somebody open while Parsons is breathing down your neck, while DeMarcus Lawrence is breathing down your neck. 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s, that's easy. Quick slant here, run there. So I love what we have on the outside when it comes to the corners and that slot corner as well with Jordan Lue, the safeties. Everybody, I love that second level. If the defensive line can come to play, then we cooking with grease.
Yeah.
But if the run game continues to rear its ugly head,
Yeah.
then it's just gonna be frustrations over and over again.
See, BC, that's that your football knowledge, right? We just did a whole segment on the defensive line, and we're trying to fan it out and get a little bit of praise on the secondary, but you're just not gonna allow it, are you? You're not gonna let
be real.
You're not gonna let the good vibes.
I can't do
We
it.
can't create no good vibes in the studio. I feel you. I mean, I'm with you on that too. I just think that. One thing about last season, I thought that Deron Bland just showed you, look how dynamic that secondary can be based off, 9 picks, 5 touchdowns. And for me, I was sitting there going, man, Trayvon, that's his. What would Trayvon have done with that? And now these two playmakers on the field, I absolutely love the way that the approach that they're taking with Trayvon Diggs. He is, and Mike McCarthy will never get credit for the way that he manages his players. And this staff, obviously medical staff, Brett Brown, and the job that he does. But guys, it's just one of those things where you need your playmakers now. You need your guys, and maybe that defensive line the defensive line will definitely save you and make life easier for you. But if these guys can cover and get interceptions, I think that changes the whole dynamic of this defense, period. But you can't be in those situations where it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3, and expect to be successful.
One thing I will say about the secondary as well, that could be an interesting dynamic going into this year. You got, Bland over here, you got Diggs over here. Both outstanding at what they do. They're gambler-type corners. You never want to take that away. You always want them to have that gambler mentality. But last year, what you had was Bland, who was the gambler, but you also had that guy in Stephon Gilmore on the other side who was just Mr. Consistency. Technician. If you need me, hey, Bland's struggling on this guy, let me slide him over there, and he might not get a lot of picks for you, but he's going to lock that guy down on the outside. So it's just going to be real interesting. And I know it's a different system and different, you're going to have 2 high safeties, so maybe they keep everything in front of them, but that's just real, you got 2 gamblers on the outside. It's a lot of double moves, a lot of situations like that. I want to see how it works out. I just want to see how that's. And
for the most part, I think the other night, Zimmer stayed in zone for a lot of the game.
Yeah, he did.
Stayed in zone for a lot of the game, and I think that these guys have a different skill set where they can fluctuate and do both. Last season, also with Gilmore, he just allowed you to play quarters in different sides of the field because you knew what he was going to do on his side. What I'm more interested in is what version of Diggs we get. Trayvon coming off of the. Everybody's going to be looking at it. That's true. Trust me, Cleveland is going to trust that they are going to test that HCL. They want to know 100%. If you still got that gambler mentality in you, if you're going to break on that ball the same. And once the tape gets out, then other teams will start going, oh, okay, he can't do this anymore, or he still falls for this. And so that's where I start to say, even with his talent that he has, maybe you're looking at a guy that may not pull the trigger as quickly as he has been known for. We know that he's sound technically, and to see him in camp getting those interceptions, that really that raises your level of hope for him and coming back. I got a fresh pack. I can't wait. I can't wait for the family reunion on the 8th, boy. I'm rolling it out.
The great Hall of Famer Warren Sapp said it, and I believe in it all day long. The back don't work without the front.
That's true.
And so, depending on what we see from Jordan Phillips, who they made a trade for, and Mozzie Smith here, and this, especially for Mozzie in this next preseason game, when the cut lists come out, every year we're going to see somebody on the cut list that we're not expecting, or a team is willing to trade a certain player because they don't want to pay the salary. I mean, that's just how the league works. What will be the Cowboys' appetite to possibly make another move at the defensive tackle spot to shore this up? These are going to be things that I'm very kind of keen on looking at, because man, if they allow this to be the reason why they can't play the kind of football they want, looking at the way the schedule stacks up, now that's not all in. That's not all in. These two moves of bringing in Lawson and Phillips showed you, okay, we don't have. Steven used to always be fond of this line. I was just laugh at. We like our guys.
Yeah.
Nobody else does.
Nobody at all. At all.
None of us watching this are like, nah. So that's just one more proof. Like, no, you don't, because here you are. You signed Lawson and you made a trade for Phillips. I don't know if they're done yet. We'll have to see. So these to me, these are moves that are going to dictate a lot of the season, because how you start. And if I remember when they lost this game, 49-38, by the way, the Cowboys scored 24 in the fourth quarter. I mean, Cleveland took it to them.
Yeah.
It was DEFCON 5. Remember, it was early in the season. Okay, this was game 4. This is game 1. Cowboy fan naturally just thinks, it was Cleveland. Let's go beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so, if it's not that way, we know what's going to be around here. 0-1. This is what's going to be around here.
It is.
So we know what they're going to do. So got to stop the run here right out of the gate. And you got a bunch of other teams that are going to want to run at you. So anyway, that's just my little 2 cents.
I think the difference is between Dan Quinn's defense, and you saw this a lot in the playoffs, where guys were so in a hurry to get up the field, they were getting trap blocked on the backside. Scoop, out of the hole, just ran out. I think Zimmer brings in a style of play that's going to really complement some of the personnel that he has. Some of those guys were just really reckless in what they were doing and just leaving open those gaping holes. And you don't want to, obviously you can't have that this season. So I'm looking for that to be the difference in this defense, but also guys that can help Micah be the best that he can be, because I'm telling you, if he can terrorize at the line of scrimmage, that changes a lot of that. All right? You stop the run, and Micah's terrorizing at the line of scrimmage, then your second half of your defense looks good.
Let me ask y'all. Go ahead.
Let's get another break. Okay. Let's get another break. And ask you a question.
Okay.
That's a tease. Barry has a big question.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Deep thoughts with Barry Church coming up next right here on the Players Lounge on DallasCowboys.com radio.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
I'm Cowboys alumni Danny McCray, here with Smoothie King asking, what's that sound? That's the sound of me sipping one of their Power Pack smoothies with over 10 grams of protein. With real fruits and organic veggies, because at Smoothie King, what you see is what you sip. So grab a delicious Smoothie King smoothie, throw a straw in your jaw, and get sipping real. Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, any broadcast without the express addition of cooked-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12, No crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable cane sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31, anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Cowboys Nation 2024 Dallas Cowboy Training Camp presented by American Airlines is here. Head to sunny Oxnard, California from now through August 21st to watch the team practice. Admission is free. For more information, visit DallasCowboys.com/training camp.
All righty, Heckman Harrison, preseason game number 2, Saturday night in Las
Man,
Vegas.
Derek, you could have sent me a ticket to that game, man. You could have brought me out to Vegas, dog.
Then they've so that's Saturday 17th. Then they practice Tuesday, August 20th, and then August 21st. Then they got their other preseason game against the Chargers. Then Cowboy training camp comes here to Frisco. So training camp dates August 27th. That's Cowboys night. August 28th is the season kickoff ceremony. So there you go. There you go. 27th, I'll miss that one. So
What you mean?
27th, man. That's Emmy night.
Oh, okay.
The Cowboys are,
he collected. My bad.
The
collected again.
Cowboy broadcast team is up for a slew of them.
Yeah.
Slew. So, and then you got a couple of people like Kyle Yeoman's already won. He's already got one in the bag, and so is Isaiah Stanback. So yeah.
So it got 2 more coming.
You know, they potentially have more coming. So they go get your statue. So anyway, there's a bunch of people gonna be absent that night.
Right on.
All dressed up.
BC, you gonna get you an Emmy? You in line for an Emmy?
No, not this year.
Okay.
Not this year.
I'm trying to get me one.
Trying to get you one on
I
that?
mean, why not?
Add it to your resume,
They
brother.
handing them out. Let's get them.
Add it to the resume, my brother.
Yeah. How many do you have now? Do you remember?
14, right?
Oh, what is it?
16?
Don't do that, Nui.
I swear it's an even.
It's not about me, guys. You got a question. Barry has a question.
nearly doing shrug.
I forgot. Yeah, don't let him fool you, all right?
Barry has a question. We teased the question. What's your question?
Yeah, these envies. Anyway, when we get so basically the question was, you know what the bazooka's gonna bring to the table, Micah Parsons. You know he's gonna get triple, double teamed, all that good stuff. From what we have on the roster now, including those additions that we just made for the Cowboys, do you see the rest of this defensive line being able to win those one-on-ones? Because last year you had Fowler, who was able to do so. You had Armstrong, who was able to do so as well. Osa did his thing last year. He's still around. Do you still believe that, these guys can win their one-on-ones? Because we know Micah's going to have all that attention. They're not going to let him, wreck shop. So do you think we have what on this roster to be able to win those one-on-ones and get pressure on that quarterback?
Man, that's a really, really good question because you need your one techniques to come through.
Yeah.
So, Osa's sitting here with one-on-one. Yeah, I believe Osa can get something done. So this is such a team. The question you ask is such a team-related deal.
Yeah.
Such a team-related deal that they've got to play well together. And at the same time, too, how do Zimmer and Gunther come up with the proper scheme to get it done? Dan Quinn did a great job of, okay, this is what I have. How do I make it work here? Yeah. I'll be interested to see how they can do that. And maybe we'll see a little bit more in the Raider game because against the Rams, they didn't do a whole lot. There was a lot of blitzing and stuff like that. So you ask a dang good question, and I'll be very happy to see, okay, what happens?
Yeah,
what happens here,
guys
man?
do it.
Great question, Barry.
No, guys like guys like DeMarvin and Overshawn really give me hope when I look at him and what his skill set and his abilities are. When you mention those names, the guys that we lost that went on to the Commanders, I know that, Dante Fowler was that gadget guy. I mean, you knew what you put him in the game for, what he was look, pin your ears back, get after the quarterback. I think Armstrong probably is the bigger piece that you're trying to replace because he was a bit of a tweener. He could do more than just one thing. And so you look at Chauncey Golston and also filling in that role. Look, man, when you go back to the scene of the crime in Green Bay, and you look at what Green Bay did to scheme up on Micah, you ask yourself, where the hell was everybody else? Because if you're Velcroed on blocks, can't get off, and Jordan Love is just sitting back there patting the ball and finding whoever he wants, I think that's where the hesitation comes in because you're saying to yourself, look, how did y'all get any better? Because the guys that y'all bringing in are definitely not any better than the guys y'all just had. So, I mean, that, to your credit, Nui, that is a great question. But I think you have some younger guys in a piece like DeMarvin and Overshawn that you can use along with Micah that can apply that pressure also.
So Church, bumping off what he just said, how much should we expect from a guy who, while he's year 2, missed all of his rookie season, didn't play a snap in the regular season? What's the baseline of what we should truly expect from a player like Damarian Overshown?
That is man, it's just so many different examples of guys that have, missed that whole rookie season and it came out the second year super hungry and performed well above the, what people thought. But then there's also those examples where, that first year hurt him and he never really got that confidence back. From what I've seen from Overshown throughout training camp and his preseason is this is a guy that's hungry. This is a guy that's he wants it. You see him, he pops off the tape. He's not just going through the motions out there, sticking on the blocks. He's trying to make plays out there. So to me, I see a guy in Overshown that I think he's gonna reach over what people believe that he can do because I just see the hunger out of him. I just see that his want to, his explosiveness off the tape, and that's a guy that you want in the foxhole. That's a guy that you want to go to war with. So, I think Overshown definitely is gonna overreach what a lot of people believe that he can do this year.
Yeah, that's a delayed gratification of a player that you wish you got an opportunity to see last season. And I'm with you on everything that I see from him in camp. He's moving fast, as Mike McCarthy says. He does everything fast. So you need that kind of speed, and this defense never lacked for that. They just didn't have those other pieces to get stops. We didn't have that other piece when teams found a way to slow down Micah. Who else was going to step to the table? And oh, by the way, we still have DeMarcus Tank Lawrence. And I'm not looking at him to be that sack leader, a guy that can get out and do all those things. I just think that he is the glue when it comes down to this defense, and he understands exactly what this team needs. You need another playmaker in that interior, and a guy just like Micah that can apply that pressure.
How much can we really ask from a guy who's been doing this a decade now? His best football is gone. He's already given you his best football. So realistically, was it 4 sacks that he had last year? So what do you realistically think we should be expecting from Tank Lawrence?
If we get a double-digit sack year, I think we'll be ecstatic. But we're not. Hey, don't bet on it. don't bet on it. I think he could just be a guy that's consistent in helping you stop the run, and that's what he's been showing you over the last couple of years. And it's that maturity as a player. When a guy loses one thing, he incorporates another and say, "Look, my jumper ain't what it used to be, so I'm gonna go down in the paint and I'm gonna get rebounds and I'm gonna get these layups for you." I think that's where DeMarcus Lawrence is in his career. That step that he had on the outside, maybe he's a step slower, all right? But I still know that his ability to help stop the run and, again, be the consummate leader that you need on this defensive line. So that was my way of kind of avoiding the question. But in a sense, I still believe in his leadership, and I believe in him, obviously still being able to play at a high level and add his piece.
And that's, to me, is why there's so much pressure on Nealon to show up. These young guys on the edge to show up, because if they're not playing to where Zimmer wants them to play, then you're going to throw more on the plate of a DeMarcus Lawrence who's in year 11, and you may ask him to play 5 to 10 snaps more a game because these other young guys aren't where they need to be at. And over the stretch of 17 games, that adds up on a vet.
A lot of football.
That adds up on a vet.
So, just looking at just sacks, and I know there's more to football than sacks, and Tank Lawrence has been praised for his ability in the run game, but he had 4 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Sam Williams had 4.5.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hankins had 3.
Big Hank.
Osa Digizua had 3. Dorrance Armstrong had 7.5. They're talking about tackles for loss last year. Tank had 10. And so I say this in terms of, if we're just being realistic and we're talking about football players, he's an older player.
Yeah.
This is a hard sport. And at some point in time, and I think this has been, for me, one of the problems I think through the years, Jerry has held on to guys too long. If DeMarcus Lawrence played in New England, he'd probably been gone. But the Cowboys are keeping guys around here. So to me, I'm looking and I'm asking the question, realistically, what should we expect from a veteran player like DeMarcus Lawrence? If the young kid they got from Western Michigan, your second-round pick, if he can help balance this thing, that could be better. But to sit up here and ask Tank Lawrence to be what he used to be, I think you're fooling yourself. And that's not a shot at the young man at all. He's given the Cowboys a lot. But at a certain point in time, you got to say to yourself, hey, when do we admit to ourselves the player's not who he used to be? And that's just what it is. And so how do we realistically look at it? I mean, the last year Tank Lawrence had double-digit sack, 2018.
Yeah, that's a minute.
Okay, 2019, 5. 2020, 6.5. 2021, 3. 2022, 6. Last year, 4.
But Nui, did you ever look at yourself and did you ever say to yourself that DeMarcus Lawrence is a sack specialist? I don't think that that's ever been the thing that we put on him. He's never been that as a player. I mean, but also when you start evaluating this roster, we opened up talking about two guys that we bring into a roster that's already hurting for talent and how you need to continue to churn and mine to get other guys in here that can actively be a help to you. I think DeMarcus Lawrence, even with the number of years that he's played in the league, is an asset to you as a defender. We're not cutting on the tape and seeing D-Law get, scoop reached up out of the hole. That's not where he is in his career. So talking about him in a way, and maybe that's not where you're going with it, but like he's being gifted his spot,
Maybe let me put it this way, in the basketball terms. When people saw Klay Thompson's eye with the Mavs this year, I said, don't look for the old Klay. Look for Klay who can come in here and supplement Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Mm-hmm. Anyone, if you're thinking about old Tank Lawrence, Pro Bowl guy, 10-sack guy, that's not that player anymore. Can he be a part of a rotation and other guys that can help you?
That's it.
That's what I'm looking for him. And so that's where I kind of go to this thing of people, we got Tank Lawrence. Which Tank Lawrence is looking for?
Yeah.
He's an older player.
Yeah, that's true.
And it gets to a point in time where, you're going to have to get the best out of him, you're going to have to limit his snaps as well. And it's going to have other people help out to get the best version of the player. I think Dan Quinn did a really good job with Fowler and how he used him. If there's a starter, man, that guy can't go out here. But he put him in the right places, and he was able to make plays. Mm-hmm. And that's my thing with Zimmer. How are you going to utilize DeMarcus Lawrence? If we're trying to use DeMarcus Lawrence like old time, no. Klay Thompson can't be no splash brother anymore. Those days are gone.
That's a wrap.
And that's kind of my thing there is just how do we realistically look at Tank Lawrence and how he can help this football team. All right, guys, this is fun. So Monday we're back?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I'm out. Monday.
Okay.
Well, we in.
We in there. We're going to hold it down.
There you go.
There
you go. So
we in.
Good show. You sit in the chair, you go ahead and do your thing.
I will. I'm waiting on that Emmy. The Emmy's going to follow. Like, let me sit over there enough times.
Yeah, man. He still has answers. I think it's about 16. Is it 16 Emmy?
He uses him as a doorstop. He uses him as a doorstop now. He got to that point.
He lets people take pictures with him. Yeah, go ahead. Take one of these Emmys. Go ahead. Take
Hold this.
Hold this.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!